Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over this upper receiver that you guys saw throughout the intro. This is the 224 Valkyrie upper receiver from Palmetto State Armory. It comes in as a complete upper receiver. They do, however, sell just the barrel and the bolt carrier group for those who want to sort of build their own. But this is my first foray into the 224 Valkyrie craze. I've done some videos on it on my Facebook page and on my B channel, just sort of doing some chronograph tests, some long range shooting out to like 620 yards. And some of that will be included in this video as well. You guys are going to see some long range steel digging. If the target looks really blurry, it's probably really far away. So what we're going to do is let the dogs take a look at the upper receiver, of course, make sure it's good to go, do a little bit more shooting, step outside, test the accuracy with a few different loads from Federal, and then come back in and get into the details of the cartridge itself and then this upper receiver. We have a few different loads here to test the accuracy. There are other 224 loads out there. These are the three that I think were out when I picked my upper up, and now of course the lineup has expanded. But anyway, first up will be the heavy stuff. It'll be the 90 grain Sierra Match King bullet here, gold medal series there from Federal. We'll throw it in there and see how she does. The actual lower that it's on is a standard arrow lower. It's got a Geissele G2S trigger in there, excellent trigger, especially for the bunny. Scope is going to be the primary arms, 4x14 with the mill reticle and sitting in a Geissele mount. So we really can't complain about the trigger or the scope, not at this distance anyway. Targets downrange at 100 yards. We have the Jebtech silencer on there, the 1, and CTK precision rest, super tactical sock filled with sand, and I think that's pretty much it. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, doesn't look terrible from here anyway. So on that note, we should talk about mags, so I'm taking it out. This is a D&H mag here from Palmetto State Armory. It's got the Magpul follower in there. It's a 6.8 mag. And then the other mags that you guys have seen throughout this video are going to be these. These are the PRI 6.8 millimeter. They got the rib on there. And these I've actually used for a number of different calibers, 22 Nosler, I believe 6.5 Grendel they work well with also, but these have been good as well. So anyway, that is magazines. You're going to need those if you want to run this upper on your lower. Now the first roundup in this mag is going to be the 60 grain Nosler ballistic tip, so it's a light per caliber load. And then after that, the next 5 will be the 75 grain American Eagle total metal jacket stuff. So we'll see how she likes it. All right, not bad there. Again, the next up is going to be the Federal American Eagle here, 224 Valkyrie, of course. All right, let's go check them out. First up was the 90 grainers, and that looks like it's the best group. Not sure. Measure it each way, but center to center we're just at an inch on the dot, regardless of how you measure it. So got an incher there. Came over here, I believe, with the 60 grainers. Looks like it opened up a touch. Yep, we're right at 1.25 inches on those, center to center. Then with the American Eagle, looks like that actually might be the winner now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, I think it is. Yep. We're right about 3/4 to 7/8 of an inch there with the American Eagle. Now, anecdotally, I shot with the 90 grainers out at 610 yards. I shot a 10-shot group that was 5 inches. So it definitely is an MOA shooter for sure with that load. That's predominantly what I've shot through the gun, just for that heavier bullet out there at longer distances. It does better in the wind. But all of these, I mean, they all shot pretty well. You can't be too mad about that. Before we get into the upper receiver itself, I kind of want to talk about the 224 round. So here we have a 223 round and then the 224 here. The 224 starts its life out essentially as a 6.8 and then it's neck down to 22 caliber or 224 caliber. So in diameter, very similar there in terms of dimension with the 223. You can use 223 muzzle brakes, you can use 223 cans, etc. 5.56 cans, all of that stuff will work with the 224 Valkyrie. But the reason obviously we were able to get so much more energy and better ballistic coefficient is because of the case design. And then, of course, the bullet design is what gives you that high BC, which gives it a lot of long-range capability and transfers energy, bucks the wind really well, all that stuff that 224 is building a reputation for. So it starts out with the case, then add in the bullet, and then that's the overall package you get in terms of downrange performance improvements over the standard 223 or 5.56. Finally, we're going to get into the upper receiver itself and start here at the end and work our way down for some semblance of order. It does ship with an A2 muzzle device. This one here appears to be nitrided. The A2 is great. It helps at reducing flash. It also helps reduce the felt recoil and muzzle rise a little bit due to the slots on the tops and the sides, and there's no slots on the bottom to help prevent dirt from kicking up when you're firing from the prone and those sorts of things. Now, moving on back, we have what Palmetto State Armory calls the A2 profile barrel, but really it's not exactly A2 profile. What they mean by A2 profile is that we have a 7.5 gas journal here at the gas block all the way out front. And back here towards the receiver before that, it gets a little bit skinnier there, as you guys can probably see as it gets fat right here before the gas block. But they actually removed a little bit of barrel material out here towards the end, so it's not exactly A2 profile, pretty darn close, but I do like the fact that they lightened it a little bit. I'd actually like if they either went with sort of like a tapered profile or maybe even a thicker profile to keep it consistent throughout. But some folks like the A2 profile, and as you guys have seen, this one certainly shoots pretty well, so I suppose you really can't complain too much in that regard. Now, it is made out of 416R stainless steel. It has the 1 in 7 twist rate on there, and of course SS, the stainless steel designation that you see. One thing that's different between this and some of the other stainless steel barrels that you guys have probably seen in the past is that this one doesn't have a bead blasted finish. It's kind of just like the raw 416R steel that you guys see on there. Throughout the review process, we had one issue with the upper receiver, and it was with the original gas block. It's not the one you see here. It shot just fine with the A2 flash hider out front, but when I went to put the Gemtech, the 1 suppressor on there with that Landtech Dragon mount, basically I couldn't turn the gas block all the way down, and what I was trying to do, what I was attempting to do with the original one, was to turn it all the way down and then basically back it out until I could see that we were getting proper cycle and proper function with the suppressor on there, but I wasn't able to turn it all the way down. I was able to turn it a little bit down, but not quite far enough. So I contacted the folks over at Palmetto State Armory to make sure it wasn't a operator and headspace timing issue, and that it was actually something wrong with the gas block. They confirmed that a few gas blocks went out that were improperly threaded on the adjustment side of it. So mine just happened to be one of those, lucky me, and they sent this one out to replace it immediately, and it was at my door in 2 days, so that certainly is good. I did throw it on. One thing I did learn though throughout that process was that the gas block as it shipped from the factory wasn't dimpled in terms of the set screw being dimpled on there, but it was put on there with high temp locking compound, I'm assuming either Rockset or red Loctite, so it wasn't going anywhere either way, but they didn't dimple it, just for those folks who are wondering. The handguard that the upper receiver ships with is Palmetto State Armory's 15-inch MLOK lightweight handguards. So we have MLOK at the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock position. We have these quick detach sling attachment points here at the 3 and 9 o'clock position. And then in the in-between positions, you guys can see they did a good job at making relatively large cutouts all the way around. That's going to give you lightweight properties and make it just a little bit lighter out there on the end where you don't want the weight, at least in my opinion. We do have the pick rail attachment points out here at the end, and then back here towards the receiver. Those are going to give you the ability out front, of course, to run a backup iron sight if you want to, or if you wanted to mount some sort of laser IR type of device, if you wanted to use this upper for hunting, that'd be a great place to do it. We do have kind of a clamping system back here in the rear. There's actually 5 different screws that you tighten down to put it on there, and then we have the anti-rotation tab up here where it meets the upper receiver. Having taken this off and putting it back on to change the gas block, it seems like a pretty solid handguard overall. No issues with it, didn't move around on me, and for the weight, seems pretty solid. The upper receiver itself is a standard mil-spec affair. We have our forward assist, which I do like. I know a lot of folks don't like. We have a shell deflector for you lefties out there, so you won't get hit in the face with the brass. We do have the T markings on the top all the way down, and we do have M4 feed ramps cut into there. It's made from 7075 T6 aluminum, and it does have a Type 3 hard anodizing on there, so nothing too fancy, but it is mil-spec and good to go. The charging handle that comes with the upper receiver is a mil-spec affair, 7075 T6 aluminum forged, so nothing too fancy, but certainly has been getting the job done on the battlefield for at least 50 years now at this point. The bolt itself is made of 9310 steel. It is magnetic particle inspected, and it does have a nitride finish on there, as does the carrier. The carrier is full auto profile, nitride treated as well. Has 224 Valkyrie stamped on the side and Palmetto's logo on there. The gas key has good staking, as you guys can see. Of course, neither of these parts are going to be chrome lined like a mil-spec one because it has that nitride treatment instead. Now, the nitride is nice that it makes it relatively easy to clean up. I actually just wiped this down with a paper towel right before filming this video, which you can see here on my fingers probably, but it came clean pretty quickly. And then the same here on the carrier. It also gives you some increased lubricity and ability to function without lubrication, or rather with less lubrication, I should say. And it's also going to give you increased surface hardness and corrosion resistance with that nitride treatment. Just a few other things to cover before we close the video out. So the only issue we had, like we said, was that gas block. So otherwise, function was great. Big thanks to Federal Premium for sending out a few different loads to shoot through this thing. And we have 800 rounds through this rifle right now, or rather this upper receiver. And again, aside from the gas block, it functioned just fine with all the different weights that we had. We had it, I think, from 60 grain to 90 grain. And the POI shift with those loads actually wasn't as much as I thought it would be. Again, only out to 620 yards. This rifle really is built for folks who want to shoot 1,000 yards and beyond with a small frame AR, and that really is the beauty of the 224. So the beauty of that, coupled with the price point of this upper receiver and the value that you get from it, is pretty good. So most of the time right now, of course it could change if you're watching this video in 2020 or something like that, is $499 for the upper receiver, as you guys see it here with the barrel, the handguard, the BCG, charging handle, upper, etc. Adjustable gas block does come standard as well, which I think is a pretty good value. I mean, if you look around the marketplace right now, again, as I'm filming this video, that's one of the cheaper ways you can get a 224 upper receiver put together, even if you were building it by yourself. And of course, if you buy this one, you don't have to build it, which certainly is an added bonus for a lot of folks out there. So 224, is it going to stay around? It's hard to say, right? You never really know with new caliber. 300 Blackout seems like it's here to stay. Years ago, 6.8 had a lot of momentum behind it. It's kind of died down now. However, I think 224, if I had to make a prediction, is going to be going strong for a while. The reason is it just gives really good performance downrange out of a small frame AR. It's better than any of the other small frame AR calibers that I've seen out there so far in terms of downrange performance. A lot of folks like that. A lot of folks want to be able to hear that steel ding at 1,000 yards with an AR-15, and with this cartridge and this upper receiver, you absolutely can do that. So that's pretty much it. If you guys are interested in 224 and you have questions about the cartridge, the upper, anything like that, by all means post down below in the comment section. I'd also like to hear from you guys. What do you think? Is the 224 going to be around for a while? Who knows? The future will tell us, of course, in due time, but that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. And if you're not following me over on Facebook, you're missing out on a lot of really good deals that I post over there as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.